Canada. Most people know it as the home of hockey, lumberjacks, and, well, maple syrup. But beyond the cliches lies a country packed with bizarre geography and unbelievable oddball laws. The US-Canada relations between these two neighbors weren't always so friendly. Fact number 29, the US has invaded Canada twice. The first time was in 1775, when the US wasn't even, well, the US. The invasion happened as part of the Revolutionary War. American Revolutionary soldiers wanted to prevent British forces from using Canada to attack the colonies, and if they could achieve that goal, perhaps annex Canada as a 14th colony as well. They believed French Canadians would join their cause, and boy, were they sorely disappointed. Not only did they face constant resistance from local Canadians and Indigenous people while they controlled Montreal, but they also lost the Battle of Quebec and had to retreat back to their original colonies. Then the US invaded Canada again in the War of 1812, since it declared war against Britain, and Canada was still a British colony. More on that later. The US resented Britain for supporting Indigenous resistance against American expansion and for restricting US trade with France, a country Britain was at war with at the time. Multiple attempts to invade and annex Canada were humiliatingly unsuccessful. Not only that, but they actually further cemented a sense of Canadian identity, separate to the other European residents of North America. Fact number 28, strangely enough, that wasn't the last attempt the US made to annex Canada. President William McKinley introduced the McKinley Tariff in 1890, which made average tariff rates 50%, and he declined to make an exception for Canada, which had an economy that was closely tied to that of the US at the time. McKinley and his administration hoped that the extra pressure of tariffs would make Canada, still a colony of Britain at the time, want to join the US instead, as the country's 45th state. Instead, Canadians got mad. Like, mad. They called the US tariffs an unprovoked act of aggression and started shifting their economy to more trade with Britain, even granting preferential status to British imports. Some US manufacturers who wanted to avoid the tariff issues also started moving their businesses to Canada. All in all, the tariffs had the exact opposite effect of what McKinley intended. Moving on to number 27, by the way, there's a reason that conquering Canada would be a bad idea, beyond its vast size. You probably think of Canadians as well-mannered and polite people, right? Well, unless you've seen a game of hockey. Then you might have seen another side of Canadians emerge. The same side Canadian soldiers showed in World War II. They were so ruthless in battle, raiding trenches, executing surrendering soldiers, and more, that parts of the 1949 Geneva Conventions were inspired by them. German, UK, and American troops thought they were psychos, and figured someone should probably make laws against the Canadian way of fighting wars. German soldiers in World War I nicknamed Canadian soldiers Sturmtruppen, translating to stormtroopers. The Northern soldiers got a similar reputation in World War II, taking few prisoners, choosing to kill many soldiers instead. Canadians also served alongside US soldiers in the 1st Special Service Force, known as the Devil's Brigade. At the Monte la Defensa battle, they were so aggressive that their American commander wanted to court-martial them, his own soldiers, during a world war. Instead, in 1949, Canada agreed to sign and ratify one of the Geneva Conventions, or as some Canadians jokingly call them, the Geneva Suggestions.